We are now going to look at the if clause. If statements are normally conditions that we have used in life. We normally use conditions, especially the women use conditions such that if you buy from me a car, I love you. Otherwise, if no car, no love. If you send me transport, I'll come and I visit you. No transport, no visiting you. When you go to the ATM machine on the bank, you put your card. There's an if statement in the background. If you enter the correct PIN number, other options like withdraw money will come. If the PIN number is wrong, an option to please try again, try again. The PIN number is correct, try again. So there's an if statement in the background. And most of the time we have lived with these if statements. But here, we want to see how we use also the if statements in Excel. We have students here. We want to determine those who are demoted and those who are promoted. And we want to set a condition which says if a student has an average, we are going to base on average. If a student has an average which is 60 and above, the student is promoted. But if a student has an average below 60, that means that student is demoted. So we are going to use that if condition. And this is how we do it. So we are going to add a column for comment. Let me use auto fit here. Column width. Auto fit, column width. So I'm going to put equals. So I'll start my if statement. So if Excel brings the if already, there are so many ifs, but we need the plain if. So we double click on it. So logical test. So if, now what do we want to test? We want to test cell, this figure here. So if it is greater than or equal to 60, comma, then value if it's true. If this is true, what do you want Excel to return? So if what we are going to return is a text, we use inverted commas. But if it's a figure, we don't use inverted commas. So since it demoted and promoted a text, we are going to use inverted commas. So if this is true, then that student is promoted. Put that in inverted commas and we put a comma to end that. Now, if it is false, if it is not true, then that student will be demoted. Then we close and press enter. Now here we are not going to use absolute reference because we have one variable and we want this variable not to be fixed but to keep changing. So we come there and double click. As you can see, let me auto fit this. As you can see, Annette here was demoted because it's less than 60. When you look at Bob here, is promoted because he has 60 and above. So that is how we use a condition. As you can see, the cells here, they are changing as we go down. So here we are using what we call relative referencing, only relative referencing, and they are changing. Now I'm going to do the same, but this time I'm going to use total. I'm not going to use average. So I'm going to call this comment 2. Let me auto fit. So this time we are going to use total, and we are going to say if equals, if, double click the ifs clause there. So if the total, now we are going to say any student who has a total above 220 is promoted. So if total is greater than 220, comma, so if the total is greater than 220, that student is promoted. Comma, otherwise the student is demoted. So as you can see, let me freeze these cells here. Let me hide them just to make sure we see what we want. I'm using the hide feature, hide columns. So when I hide columns, you can see FL. That means between the two here, there are some columns which are hidden. They are not deleted, but they are hidden. I can get them back. So I just wanted to hide them such that I can see the total column and the comment too. So we said if F2 is greater than 220, the student is promoted. As you see here, this is 234, so it's promoted. So if we drag down, we can see here a demoted student has 170. And we are saying 220 is also demoted. Why? Because we said if F7 is greater than 220. So that means 220 is not included in the if. But if we had put the equal sign, if we had said if is greater than, okay, let me put comment 3 here. And I'm going to copy the same condition here. And I'm going to paste it there. So I'm going to say if this is F2, not Git2. So if that, but this time I'm going to use greater than or equal to. Okay. Then I'll drag down. As you can see, when it comes to 220 here it is demoted, but here is promoted. So the difference is about the equal sign. So here we are saying if is greater than or equal. As you can see here, we are saying if F7 is greater than, if it is greater than 220. But here we are saying if F7 is greater than or equal to, so it makes a big difference. The greater than or equal to makes a big difference. As you can see, here, the difference between demoted and promoted is brought about the greater than or equal sign. So next video, we are going to look at nested if. Nested if can bring a number of, we can put a number of if clauses into one if statement. If this is not fulfilled, then take another condition. If that condition is not fulfilled, check another condition until when we close the conditions. Okay, see you in the next video.